been saying. What are you looking so sad about, Jeff?
I'm surprised. I mean, I'm really insulted. That's not right, what you just said.
What do you mean, what I just said?
I mean, I'm getting drink of water. I'm late getting home, but you talk. I said something about the greatest heavyweight champ, man. I'm a hometown man, and you talk about Joe Louis, man. Joe Louis wouldn't be nothing for me. Joe, I tell you, Joe, do you think you would have stood a chance with me?
Well, one time during my career, I was on a Formula One tour.
I would have been a bum compared to you.
What's happening, my people? It's Cass Sports again, back for another afternoon with the family. That's right. You know what time it is. If it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's the Boxtorian bringing you all that boxing history. Boxing is the greatest sport of them all. That's why we love it. Can't get enough of it. Salute to everyone and welcome to another episode of Cass Sports, the Boxtorian. Today, boxing in Italy. Boxing in Italy today. It's Thursday. We continue our trip around the world. We're up to the eyes, Italy today. Gonna look at a little history of boxing in Italy. Some historic events that happened concerning boxing there. And we're gonna look at some boxers from Italy. We got some active boxers too from the country. Okay? That's where we go all the way back to the Romans. Boxing over there, where fights often ended in the death of one of the opponents. Okay, boxing in Italy. It has the family today. It's Thursday. We are getting late in the big week of boxing history. Tomorrow for the profile, it's the first Friday of the month, so it's going to be an active boxer. It's going to be the life and career of Slick Shakur Stevenson tomorrow. in Active Box, the first Friday of the month. Okay? So don't miss that. That should be good. We're getting close to Virgil Ortiz and Lubin, Erickson Lubin, tomorrow, Saturday. I guess the final press conference will be today and then the weigh-in tomorrow. And then Saturday they throw hands. Okay? I'm picking Virgil. I think it's probably be a decision. And, they're trying to build Virgil. And Lara just ain't getting no decision. He's going to have to be a dominant one. Like Bud did Canelo or Bivol did Canelo. Lara's going to have to be dominant like that to get a decision. So that's why I'm picking Virgil for this one. A lot of people say Lubin going to stop him. He might need to get the win, get the nod, okay? But hopefully we can get, if Virgil does win, hopefully he can stop running from Boots. He said 4 years ago, so it's time now. Remember he said 4 years, about 2022 or something like that. It's almost 2026, so it's time to get in there. Virgil, I think Virgil is tailor-made for Boots. It's going to be just like Stanionis, okay? Stanionis is a great boxer, but like Roy Jones Jr. used to, Boots make good boxers look average. Okay? Make them look average. But yeah, today we're going to be talking about boxing in Italy. That's Primo Carnero on the screen there. But we're going to have some boxers that were born. We're going to talk about some boxers that were born in Italy. And then we're going to talk about some of the top Italian-American boxers, like Rocky Marciano, Willie Pep, Tony Graziano, those guys. But let's get ready to get to the fight of the day. We got two Italian-American boxers in the fight of the day, since we're focusing on Italy today. So let's get to that fight of the day. Reaching down into the archives right now as we speak, coming up with this fight of the Okay, like I said, we got two Italian-American fighters today in the fight of the day, and it's going to be Tony Canzoneri versus Billy Patrol 2. Tony Canzoneri versus Billy Patrol 2. November 4th, 1932. For the fight of the day, Canzoneri versus Patrol 2. Went deep into the archives, all the way back to 1932, which is what? 95 years ago. Oh. No, wait a minute. Bear with me for a minute, please. We're going to get ready to get started with this fight of the day. 93 years ago. So let's get started. Tony Canzoneri versus Billy Patrol. Second fight between these two. Fight of the day. For fight fans who happen to be born after around, say, 1975 or so, Billy Patrol might seem a rather curious figure. He's a warrior with over 89 pro wins on his record, generally regarded as both one of the best of his era and an all-time great lightweight, not to mention one of boxing's best ever body punchers. But he engaged in just one world championship fight. He crammed 121 fights into only 12 years of action, but battled for the big prize a single time. And when he did, he lost. But there's no doubt He belongs in the Hall of Fame, and that's just where you'll find him today. 121 fights in just 12 years, okay? That's an average of 10 fights per year. And he's in the Hall of Fame, right where he belongs, okay? Billy Patrol, one half of today's fight of the day. How boxing has changed since the 1920s and 30s. Today, a career such as Patrol's is scarcely possible. In his time, the fighter they called the Fargo Express was a big attraction. His ring achievements viewed with the utmost respect. The fact he wasn't a world champion didn't matter. There was regard for the craft back then, and boxers were revered more for their actual skill and willingness to rumble than any hollow, undefeated records or shiny belts. Besides, unlike today, the belts were quite difficult to come by back then, and thus actually meant something. Okay? And there's a shot of Billy Patrol right there. Yeah, the belts actually meant something back then. You know, there wasn't 50 belts in each weight class, that type of nonsense like today. Okay? The son of Italian immigrants and one of 19 children, the young Patrol, like so many boxers of the time, was attracted to the fight game as a way out of poverty. He hooked up with trainer and manager Jack Hurley and started his pro career in earnest in 1922. And just 3 years later, he had a record of 49 wins, 6 losses, 7 draws, and was ranked among the top 10 lightweights in the world. He was also a strong draw at the box office, thanks to his aggressive style and heavy hands, especially his deadly left hook. Especially that deadly left hook he had. In 1926, Billy got a chance against Lewis Kid Kaplan, the current featherweight champion. But Patrol was no featherweight, so no title was on the line. Billy dropped the decision to Kaplan and then another to Sid Terrace. But in both cases, the fights drew big crowds. This would be a recurring theme for Patrol. Major fights against champions that did brisk business, but with no world title belt at stake. In 1928, he faced lightweight champ Sammy Mandel, again with no title on the line, and almost stopped Mandel in round 8 after he landed his thunderous left. Mandel survived and was fortunate to get the newspaper verdict. There's Patrol putting in some work in the gym. Patrol kept working, kept fighting, and while he suffered his share of defeats, he also scored some historic wins. The year 1930 was his peak. He stepped through the rope 16 times, losing only once, and notching victories over such top-shelf pugilists as Battling Battaglino, Jimmy McLarnin, and one Tony Canzonieri. His combination of unceasing aggression and incredible toughness, along with that powerful left hook, were firing on all cylinders and earning him his biggest victories. His confidence was at an all-time high, reflected in his words to the great McLarnin at the weigh-in for their first battle, when Patrol scored a huge upset and gave the Belfast Spider the most one-sided defeat of his Hall of Fame career. I'm plenty tough, they tell you, he told Jimmy, but it isn't their intention to confirm a rumor. They are announcing a downright fact. And there he is when he beat McLaurin. Put McLaurin on the map. Okay? Right there. The Fargo Express. But McLaurin, the great Jimmy McLaurin, was overrun by the Fargo Express. Such was Patrol's success in 1930 that in all likelihood, it scared off a title shot. Lightweight champion Al Singer wanted no part of Billy and instead defended against one of the men who had been steamrolled by the Fargo Express, Tony Canzoneri, who in turn took full advantage, stopping Singer in one round. Okay? In one round. But if 1930 had been the high water mark of Patrol's career, the following year saw a steep decline. He suffered decision losses to McLaurin and a first-round knockout at the hands of Henry Tuttle, aka King Tut. And now, many wondered if the Fargo Express was all used up, that a hectic schedule and so many tough battles had taken their toll, that at the age of 27, Patrol's peak had passed. But then, Billy put together an impressive 6-fight win streak, including 2 wins over Battleino. And finally, at long last, Billy Patrol got his overdue opportunity to win the Big Kahuna. The man he defeated 2 years previous, Canzoneri, gave him a shot at the lightweight championship of the world. And everyone knew this was more than likely the last chance for Patrol to put one of those shiny gold belts around his waist. And there's a shot of the great Tony Canzoneri, who was the champion at the time, who had given Billy his shot. And remember, Billy had beat Canzoneri before. Bruce Gass, boxing, jazz, and more in the building. Salute Bruce Gass. Fight of the day, 1932, Tony Canzoneri versus Billy Patrol. Boxing in Italy today, both of these men are 2 Italian-American greats. So he's going up against Tony Canzoneri for his title shot. And a lot of people saying this was Billy Patrol's last chance right here. A huge crowd filled up the stands in Madison Square Garden to see Canzoneri versus Patrol, a compelling duel between the experienced veteran with the big left hook and the clever sharpshooter who was dangerous with either hand. But it was well known by this point that it was now a major struggle for Billy to make 135 pounds, and thus most saw Tony Canzoneri as a strong favorite to notch the 4th successful defense of his title. After all, if Patrol was on a tear up late, so was Tony, with big wins over Jackie Kid Berg and Kid Chocolate. So they both coming in with big wins on their records. And indeed, while Canzoneri versus Patrol was a competitive battle, at the final bell, no one needed the judges to tell them which man deserved to hold up the belt. When the decision was announced, no complaints were heard. Canzoneri had clearly won at least 10 rounds. As the press reported the next day, the champion gave fight fans one of the smartest exhibitions of the sweet science anyone had seen in recent years, consistently beating the challenger to the punch and neutralizing Patrol's attempts to close the distance and bring his power to bear. And that's just a shot of Canzoneri and Patrol right there. The middle rounds, specifically the 6th to the 8th, was the only stretch in which Patrol appeared to be a threat, as he took the play from Canzoneri and outworked him. But Billy's success likely had as much to do with the champion pacing himself as anything else. Otherwise, Canzoneri was simply the stronger and sharper man and made Patrol pay dearly for every missed blow and mistimed maneuver. Billy stalked and tried to corner the champion, but seemingly every time he threw a punch, Tony snapped back vicious counters that raised welts and bruises around the challenger's eyes. Canzoneri took over for good in round 11, as by then, Patrol had simply run out of gas. The champion landed at will as Billy retreated and held and struggled to survive, but he almost didn't make it. In the final round, an exhausted Patrol was staggering about the ring, and Canzoneri appeared to let up in the last minute to allow his valiant foe to hear the final bell. Yeah, that picture was just in the promotion in the lead up to the fight. Yeah, they say Tony could have got him out of there, but Billy made it to the 15th, and Tony let up to hear him make the final, let him hear the final bell. And so it was for Billy Patrol. After almost 9 solid years of punching for pay with some of the roughest and toughest battlers in boxing history, he finally got his chance to compete for a world championship. But alas, the chance came just a bit too late, and against a fellow Hall of Famer who was just a bit too good. And he had beat Tony Canzoneri a few years earlier, but Tony didn't have the title at that point. So yeah, Billy got his shot a bit too late. This wasn't quite the end of the line for the Fargo Express, but after 2 decision defeats to future champion Barney Ross, Patrol hung up the gloves in 1934. Unlike many great boxers, Billy had been careful with his ring earnings, and he went on to be a successful businessman. He is regarded as one of the toughest boxers of all time and was officially inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2000. And while Billy Patrol never took home a world title belt in his ultra-competitive era, no one doubts that if he were fighting in hours today, he'd have a sizable collection of belts. And there you have it, the fight of the day. Tony Canzoneri and Billy Patrol, won by Tony Canzoneri. And today is boxing in Italy, okay? Today we continue our trip around the world. Boxing in Italy today, okay? So let's get going with that. It's Thursday. We're close to the weekend. Big fight of the weekend is Vergil Ortiz and Erickson Lubin, right? So that should be good. Oh man, okay. 2 good, solid junior middleweights. 154 pounders gonna go at it this weekend. Good matchmaking. But boxing in Italy today. Let's get started with that. Now, boxing has a long and varied history in Italy. From the brutal gladiatorial contests of ancient Rome to the rise of modern champions like Primo Carnera and Nino Benvenuti. After a decline following the Roman Empire, modern boxing gained popularity in the early 20th century, especially during the fascist era, before experiencing another boom after World War II. Now let's look at the ancient Roman era first, the ancient Roman era. Pugilatus. Roman boxing, known as pugilatus, was a popular spectator sport derived from Greek and Etruscan traditions. Cestus, Those are called cestus. Cestus gloves. That's the gloves they wore back then. Unlike the modern sport, Roman boxers used the cestus, a leather hand wrapping fitted with metal plates or studs, which made fights brutal and often fatal. Okay, yeah. Metal spikes and studs on those gloves. Some of them had spikes sticking out at the end, right? So that made fights, a lot of fights were often fatal. They all were brutal. Some of them were often fatal back in those days. Okay? Decline. Theodosius the Great banned boxing around 400 CE due to its extreme violence, causing the sport to disappear in the West for centuries. And then we got to the modern era, 20th century. Revival. Modern boxing was revived and organized in Italy in the early 1900s, with the first modern match held in Verona in 1909. Formalization. The Italian Boxing Federation, the FPI, was established in 1916. Then we got to the fascist era. During the 1920s and 1930s, the fascist regime promoted boxing to inspire national pride. Heavyweight champion Primo Carnera became a national hero during this period, with his title defense in Rome drawing 70,000 spectators. We're going to talk about Primo some more later. Post-World War II boom. Italian boxing thrived after the war as boxers emerged from humble beginnings to find fame. This golden age featured legendary fighters like Nino Benvenuti, who won Olympic gold in 1960 and became a two-time middleweight world champion. That was the Olympics Cassius Clay was in, and Nino Benvenuti won the outstanding fighter of the entire Olympic boxing tournament over Cassius Clay. Nino Benvenuti was an outstanding boxer in 1960 Olympics. So then we had the decline in modern boxing. Shifting interests. As Italy's economic position improved, fewer athletes pursued boxing, and the sport's popularity declined toward the end of the 20th century. And then some recent champions. While not as dominant as in its golden age, Italy has continued to produce boxing talent. Open scoring. In 2024, the Italian Boxing Federation adopted open scoring for its national title fights, providing new transparency to the sport. You know, open scoring, you see the judges' scorecards as the fight goes along, like any other sport. You can see the score as the game goes on. Football, baseball, basketball. 2024 in the national title fights, Italy adopted open scoring. You see the judges scoring round by round by round. So now let's look at why were so many Italian boxers in the United States during the early 1900s? Okay, good question. Let's take a look at that. Why there were so many Italian boxers in the United States during the early 1900s? Every day. Oh, there it is. I lose my pen every day. Okay. Let's take a look at that question. Why there were so many Italian boxers in the United States in the early 1900s? Okay. Okay. Okay, give me one moment, please. How's everybody this Thursday afternoon? It almost we got pro box tomorrow. Tiger Johnson in action. Hope he let his hands go this time. Remember last fight his trainer was screaming at him or was that 2 fights ago? I remember his trainer was screaming at him to let your hands go. He won, but wow. It wasn't that impressive at all. So we'll see. But that's a good move to go to Pro Box, get some visibility. Work your way back to the big networks and cards. Okay. Yeah. But why were there so many Italian boxers in the United States during the early 1900s? Okay. There it is right there. Okay. Now, large numbers of Italian boxers in the United States during the early 1900s resulted from a convergence of migration patterns, socioeconomic conditions, cultural fit with pugilism, and structural features of American sport and entertainment. Some key factors: migration and demographics. Mass migration. Between about 1880 and 1920, more than 4 million Italians, mostly from southern Italy and Sicily, emigrated to the United States. Many settled in urban enclaves that concentrated working class young men. Many of them settled in places like New York, Boston, Philadelphia, and Chicago. Another factor was age and gender skew. The immigrant flow was heavily male and young, producing a large cohort of men for whom physical, manual, or show business work was realistic economic choices. The economic push and occupational attraction, limited opportunities, language barriers, low formal education, discrimination, and lack of capital restricted upward mobility. Boxing required minimal startup investment and paid relatively well for good fighters. Rapid cash returns. Prize purses, gate shares, and betting offered faster, visible income than many factory or dock jobs. Successful fighters could parlay fame into paid exhibitions, teaching, or nightclub work. Cultural and social dynamics. Masculine status and moral identity. Boxing offered a way to display toughness, defend honor, and gain respect within both the immigrant community and the wider American public. Community support networks, ethnic clubs, social halls, and neighborhood gyms provided training, sparring partners, managers, and promoters who groomed local talent and marketed fights to co-ethnic audiences, role models, and chain migration. Early successful Italian fighters inspired peers and younger men. Managers and trainers from the same communities actively recruited promising young people. Sporting infrastructure and market demand. Urban fight circuits. Cities had a dense circuit of amateur fights, athletic clubs, prize fights, and saloon exhibitions where novices could start and progress quickly. Promoters and ethnicity-based matchmaking. Promoters exploited ethnic rivalries and crowd draws, marketed Italian versus Irish or Italian versus Jewish fights which both filled arenas and gave Italian boxers frequent opportunities and low barriers to entry. Boxing required little formal credentialing, gym training, a few local fights, and a pugilist's reputation could propel someone into larger cards. Legal, institutional, and media contexts. Legality and corruption. The patchwork legality of prize fighting and the involvement of bookmakers and corrupt local officials created many informal opportunities for fights outside official oversight. Newspapers and ethnic press. Strong immigrant press coverage amplified fighters' reputations, creating local celebrities and feeding demand for more fights. Examples and patterns. Many well-known names, for example, Battling Nelson, Primo Carnera, came from or were linked to Italian communities. Numerous lesser-known club fighters populated cards from the Lower East Side to South Boston. Typical story. A young immigrant or son of immigrants trains at an Italian athletic club, wins local fights, attracts a manager who books ethnic matchups, and leverages winnings into steady fight work, signaling the repeating pipeline that produced many Italian boxers. Mike Rim in the building. What's up, Mike Rim? Boxing in Italy today. We were just talking about why there were so many Italian boxers in the United States in the early 20th century. Okay? And to summarize this segment right here, concentrated Italian immigration created a large pool of young men facing limited economic options. Boxing offered immediate cash, social status, community support, and plentiful urban opportunities. Promoters and ethnic media amplified demand by staging ethnically themed fights, making boxing an accessible and attractive path for many Italian immigrants to the early 20th in the early 20th century. Okay. Okay, so now let's look at some Italian fighters. But first, let's salute Mike Rim. Yeah, we're gonna look at some Italian fighters from Italy, some naturalized Italian boxers, some Italian American boxers, and some active Italian boxers. Now, how did the boxing scene change for Italian fighters after the 1920s? Now, the boxing scene for Italian fighters underwent significant changes after the 1920s, influenced by various social, economic, and cultural factors. Here are the key developments. Decline of immigration. Reduced migration. The 1920s saw a decline in Italian immigration due to restrictive immigration laws, like the Immigration Act of 1924. This limited the influx of new fighters from Italy. Changing demographics. Shift in representation. As the immigrant population stabilized, the boxing scene began to see more diverse fighters from various ethnic backgrounds, diluting the predominance of Italian boxers. Economic factors. The Great Depression impact. The economic hardships of the 1930s affected many fighters' ability to earn a living in boxing, leading to fewer opportunities and lower purses. Evolving popularity of boxing. The rise of radio and media. The growth of radio and later television changed how boxing was consumed. Fighters from various backgrounds gained fame, shifting focus away from ethnic identities. Cultural integration. Assimilation. Many Italian American fighters became more integrated into mainstream American culture. This led to a blending of identities and a shift from ethnic pride to broader American appeal. Prominent fighters. New stars. While earlier decades featured prominent Italian fighters like Tony Canzonieri, the 1930s and beyond introduced stars from other ethnicities, such as African American and Jewish fighters, who captured public attention. And the changing fight styles and training. The modernization of training. The evolution of training techniques and styles in boxing also played a role. Fighters began to emphasize different styles and approaches, impacting the traditional boxing methods associated with earlier Italian fighters. The legacy and influence. Cultural impact. Despite the changes, Italian boxers left a lasting legacy. Figures like Rocky Marciano in the 1950s revitalized interest in Italian American fighters, showing that while the boxing scene had changed, Italian fighters continued to have a significant impact. In summary, after the 1920s, the boxing landscape for Italian fighters shifted due to reduced immigration, changing demographics, economic factors, and the integration of fighters into broader American culture. While the prominence of Italian boxers declined, their influence persisted through future generations. Okay, so now let's look at some Italian fighters. First, some Italian fighters from Italy. Naturalized Italian fighters. Then we're going to look at some Italian Americans, like Rocky Marciano, Willie Pep. But these are actual Italian fighters born in Italy. Okay. The first one is going to be the one that was on the thumbnail there, Mr. Primo Carnera. Yep. Big Primo. They say he was mafia back, but that was never, just like Sonny Liston. People say that, but it was never proven that he was linked to the mafia. That's how a lot of people do now in these social media streets. You hear one person say something, and then next thing you know, 100 people say it, and then everybody start looking at it like it's a fact. Like you say something enough, all of a sudden it becomes a fact. Right? But there's never no proof of this man being mafia connected. But let's talk about it. Primo Carnera. Okay. There's another shot of Primo. Okay. How good of a boxer was Primo Carnera? Let's see. How good of a boxer was he? He was good enough. He won a world title. Okay. Let's see. Oh, shoot. Wow. Knock my lamp over. Okay, we got DVO Sports TV in the building from the Sports Talk Network. And we got Mike Mazzei in the building. Salute. Boxing in Italy today is Thursday. Don't forget, tomorrow is the first Friday of the month, so we're going to do an active boxer. It's going to be the life and career of Slick Shakur Stevens tomorrow. Okay, don't miss that one. Slick Shakur Stevens. But right now, how good was Big Primo Carnera? How good of a boxer was he? Let's talk about Primo. Now, Primo Carnera was a pretty good heavyweight and a lot better boxer than fans credit him for. Next to Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, he was Joe Louis level, right? First, Primo Carnera gets a bad rep from modern boxing fans. This is just what I was just talking about. Primo did not suffer from gigantism, was not mob controlled, was not the beneficiary of fixed fights, and was actually a pretty good heavyweight. Primo was also one of only 24 undisputed heavyweight champions. Who was Primo Carnera? Born and raised in Italy, Carnera began boxing there to make a living during the Depression after working first as a circus strongman. Primo moved to the United States in 1930 after success in Europe as a boxer. He later became an American citizen and made his home in Los Angeles, California. Primo as a fighter. Primo was 6'6" tall, possessed an incredible 85-inch reach, right? He fought at about 270 pounds, and pictures show he was not fat. He was extremely muscular and very simply a huge man. On June 29th, 1933, Primo became heavyweight champion of the world after knocking out Jack Sharkey. Primo would make 2 successful defenses of his title against Paulino Oscar and Tommy Loughran, both by 15-round decisions, before being badly beaten and losing his title to Max Baer on June 14, 1934. He was knocked down 11 times in 11 rounds. Okay, Gene Tunney got you, BBO. Gene Tunney. Almost certainly will. Maybe one day next week, probably next Wednesday, Gene Tunney. Okay. But yeah, on June 14th, 1934, when he lost his title to Max Baer, he was knocked down 11 times in 11 rounds. Wow. Okay, with Max Baer was just, he killed 2 men in the ring. Well, 2 men died as a result of the fighting him. I ain't gonna say he killed them. That's like, that don't sound too good. 2 men died after fighting Max Baer. Well, yeah, he had power. One of the most powerful heavyweights in history. In 1938, Carnera, whose career had begun in 1928, and who at this time was 32 years old, was forced to retire after his diabetes caused him to have a kidney removed. He returned to his home in Italy, where he lived quietly until having to make a successful return to the ring in 1945 due to poverty after World War II. He just fought again for a year. Then he retired from boxing for good in 1946. Okay. His style. Primo was a huge man. Okay. Yeah, there he is right there. Okay. Primo was a huge man with immense strength and power in both hands. His 85-inch reach and powerful jab made getting inside to him difficult. Okay. And contrary to urban myths, Primo was quite mobile on his feet. And as his career advanced, he had developed decent to good footwork. Again, as he learned on the job, Primo worked and developed good boxing mechanics. His jab was quite good. Boxing historian Jonathan Snallen noted that working behind a stiff jab, Primo Carnera's fists packed every bit the punch of a promoter's illicit payday. Key to his success was an ability to take a punch, knowing eventually his superior power would win the day. Fans and the boxing press, perhaps rightfully so, were still skeptical, but the enormous Italian had real power in both hands. His greatest weakness as his career advanced was his chin began to fail him. Primo Carnera's accomplishments in the ring. His final record was 88 wins, 14 losses. 71 wins by knockout made him a member of a very elite group of boxers that won at least 50 or more fights by knockout. Not many have done that, okay? 88 wins, 71 by knockout. That's 80% on the knockout ratio for Primo, okay? Yeah, and he's one of an elite group, 50 or more fights by knockout. Primo holds the record for second most victories of all heavyweight champions with 88. Second only to Ezra Charles, who has 95. This is heavyweight. Ezra Charles holds the record for heavyweight wins at 95. Primo is second with 88. He won the undisputed heavyweight title. We would say it was 1933. His two title defense wins over two very good challengers, including the number 2 contender, Tommy Loughran, and top 3 contender and tough guy, Paulino Oscar Dunn, does prove his championship was more than a one-hit wonder. Yeah, he defended against 2 top 5 heavyweights. He became a professional wrestler in 1946 when he retired from boxing for good and continued to work as a wrestler until the 1960s. He died in 1967 in his home in Italy, moved back to Italy at 60 years old from complications from his diabetes and liver disease, both severely worsened by Carnera's refusal to stop drinking. He had to do it from kidneys. Years as contender. Primo entered the top 10 in his second year as a contender in 1929. Okay. And he was a top 10 contender for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, right? Primo was annually ranked in the top 10 for 7 straight years, 6 of them in the top 4, 3 in the top 3, 1 as undisputed heavyweight champion. And his competition fought Jack Sharkey twice, 1-1. That's where he originally won the title for. I think the next time he fought Sharkey, neither one was champion, but he did beat Sharkey for the title. Paulino Oscar Dunn, Tommy Loughran, King Levinsky, Ernie Schaff, Max Baer, and he fought Joe Louis too. Joe Louis stopped him, but he did fight Joe Louis. Primo faced 7 fighters ranked number 3 or higher in their career and beat 5 of the 7 at least once. He faced 4 Hall of Famers and beat 2 at least once. Primo also faced the following opponents ranked in their career: Leroy Haynes, Isiduro Costanaga, Walter Newsell, Ernie Schaff. He beat 3 of those 4. He beat 8 of the 11 opponents he faced who were ranked in their career. And claims that he suffered from gigantism are without proof of any kind. There's absolutely no proof Primo Carnera suffered from gigantism. To be clear, there's no medical proof of any kind. This is so. His family never acknowledged such a claim, and no medical records or diagnosis of any kind exist to support it. He was just a big man. A theory that Primo had gigantism has been floated in recent years due to his pronounced jaw. But again, there's no medical proof whatsoever that he actually suffered from that ailment. Further, there are significant medical signs that he did not suffer from gigantism. Primo's hands and feet, while huge, was not unusually large for a man his size. His physique was not that of a man typically afflicted with gigantism, but rather an extremely muscular athlete. Further, he did not keep growing once he obtained his adult size. In addition, he lived till 60. And while he died of liver cirrhosis and diabetes, neither appeared related to gigantism. Okay, so he did not suffer from that ailment. Primo's career was influenced by organized crime, just like Rocky or Sonny Liston or any other boxer from those times. Okay? They took the mob took their money, but they neither controlled Primo nor fixed any fights for him. No evidence of that. If you wanted a championship fight, you had to be affiliated with the mob or a mob-backed manager, or you wasn't getting it. Let's ask Jake LaMotta. Any heavyweight is a very, very, very good fighter who wins the undisputed title, faces 4 Hall of Famers and beats 2, beats 5 of the 7 opponents he faced who were ranked number 3 or higher in their careers, beat 8 of the 11 opponents he faced who were ranked in their careers, set the all-time record for knockouts by a heavyweight. 71 of his 88 wins were by knockout. Has 47 pure on the deck, gone for 10 count knockouts, or 66% of his knockouts. Okay, were not TKOs, they were on the deck 10 count knockouts. Sleep, can't get up, them kind of knockouts. Primo was a very, very good heavyweight in an era of great heavyweights. Put in the Joe Louis, Max Baer, Max Schmeling era. Okay, that's been Primo for it. History has not been kind to him, which is a shame. He was actually a very good heavyweight. Yeah, that era compared to this era, it's like grown men and little boys. The era Primo fought in. I don't even think not many of these heavyweights in this era, I don't think any of them could have lasted in that era. Usyk neither. Usyk would have been way too small for that era, man. He would have been a light heavyweight. They didn't have cruiserweight. Yeah. This is about the only era Usyk could have been a heavyweight in. Not to knock Usyk, but those are just facts. This is about the only era he could have fought as a heavyweight in right now. Mm-hmm. So let's look at some other Italian fighters. Okay. Some other Italian fighters now. These are Italian fighters that were born and raised in Italy. Later, we're going to look at some Italian Americans, like Rocky Marciano, Willie Pep. They are Italian Americans. These fighters here, born and raised in Italy. I guess you would say naturalized Italians, I guess. Is that what you would say? I don't know. Yeah. Right? So let's look at some of them. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, here we go. Yeah. I couldn't find nothing. There was the work I did earlier setting this stuff up, but there it is. Okay. Yeah, let's look at some of these other Italian fighters. I believe Nino Benvenuti is next. He just died this year. Remember, we did the show on him when he passed away. Nino. There's Nino Benvenuti. Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's talk about Nino. These are brief discussions. Nino Benvenuti. Yeah, that's Nino up there. Giovanni Benvenuti, aka Nino, was born in the old kingdom of Italy in what is now Slovenia. A truly fabulous amateur fighter, he ended his career in the unpaid ranks with a record of 120-0. Never lost in the amateur. Winning the gold medal as a welterweight in the 1960 Olympics. And those were the Olympics Cassius Clay was in. And guess who won the outstanding fighter for those Olympics? Not Cassius Clay. Nino Benvenuti was the outstanding fighter for those Olympics. 1960. Okay, won the gold medal for Italy in the welterweight division, and was the overall outstanding fighter of the Olympics. Turning pro in 1961, Benvenuti knocked out Sandro Mazzinghi in 6 rounds, another great Italian, in 6 rounds to win the world junior middleweight title in 1965. He lost that title to Kai Soo Kim by a split decision in 1966. It was Benvenuti's first loss after 65 consecutive professional wins and 120 amateur wins, okay? So he won his first 65 as a pro, 120 as an amateur. So it took him 185 fights before he had his first loss between amateur and pro, okay? It was Benvenuti's first loss in 12 years as both an amateur or a pro. 12 years, 185 fights. Getting back to work, Benvenuti decisioned Emil Griffith by unanimous decision to win the world middleweight title in 1967, but lost it to Griffith in their rematch by a majority decision. That was a great Emil Griffith, okay? In their third fight, and we're going to do that trilogy too, Benvenuti and Griffith. In their third fight, Benvenuti beat Griffith by unanimous decision to regain his world middleweight title in 1968 and was named Ring Fighter of the Year for 1968. So he beat Emil Griffith in their trilogy 2-1. And we're going to get that one of these Mondays. But we got trilogies that last us all right, like the summer of 2026 for Mondays. So we good for trilogy Mondays for a while. In his 5th title defense, Benvenuti lost the world middleweight title to King Carlos Monzon by a 12th round TKO in 1970. And King Carlos was in the middle of, the last 13 years of his career, nobody beat King Carlos, though. Benvenuti don't have to feel bad about that one. Nobody was beating King Carlos around that time. And then Benvenuti retired in 1971 after being stopped in 3 rounds by King Carlos in the rematch in an attempt to regain the world middleweight title. He finished his career with a record of 82 wins, 7 losses, 1 draw, and he sits in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Dino Benvenuti. Okay? Next is Sandro Lopapalo, or something like that. Yeah. Sandro. Okay. L-O. P-O-P-O-L-O. That's a crazy name. It's spelled the same way. Oh, no, not really. But here he is. Sandro. He's next. And there's Sandro up there. Sandro was born in Milan on December 18th, 1939, a week before Christmas. Sandro won a silver medal as a lightweight in the same Olympic at the 1960 Olympics. He came in 2nd place. Yeah, Italy got a gold and a silver in that Olympics. Turning pro in 1961, Sandro won the lineal, WBA, and WBC junior welterweight titles from Carlos Morocco Hernandez on April 29th, 1967. He defended his title once, and a year after winning it, lost it to Takeshi Fuji, Japanese fighter, Takeshi Fuji, okay? Sandro boxed on, but never fought for the title again. And he retired in 1973 with a record of 53 wins, 10 losses, and 7 draws. Yeah, these are just brief. I ain't gonna bore y'all. Next Italian boxer is Carlo Orlandi. Carlo Orlandi. That's the easy one. Carlo Orlandi. Carlo Orlandi was born in Milan on April 23rd, 1910. Incredibly, although he was both deaf and mute, right? Deaf and mute. We talked about him before, remember? Orlandi was an amazingly talented amateur fighter who won Olympic gold in 1928 as a lightweight, deaf and mute. How do we understand the referee's instructions? Well, I guess they get some kind of something in the dressing room before the fight. I mean, the referee gets some kind of system. You know, when he yelling the commands to his opponent, he giving him some kind of sign language or something. You know, got to be something like that, deaf and mute. Turning pro in 1939, Orlandi fought almost exclusively in Italy. And when he retired in 1944, he had a record of 98 wins, 19 losses, and 10 draws. And he never fought for a world title. Wow. But that's 128 fights, right? Never fought for a world title. Okay. Piero Toscani. That's an easy one too. Piero Toscani. Piero Toscani was born in Milan on July 28, 1904. Toscani, the Milan put out a lot of great Italian boxers. Wow. I never knew that. All of these guys from Milan. Toscani had a very distinguished amateur career, highlighted by his winning the gold medal as a middleweight at the 1928 Olympics. Same one Toscani, what was the other guy name? Orlandi. Same Olympics Orlandi won his in, right? 1928. Toscani turned pro, but had a brief and largely unsuccessful career. He only had 16 fights. He was 7-6. 7 wins, 6 losses, 3 draws record. Toscani's pro career was almost certainly affected by his health. Okay. He grew more and more ill and died at only 35 years old. What condition took his health and killed him? It's unknown, right? But like so many forgotten fighters, one has to ask, if Toscani had stayed healthy, what might have been? Yeah, he was a gold medalist in the amateurs. These mostly forgotten Italian fighters were, for one reason or another, great either as amateurs or pros or both. Yeah. Amateurs or pros or both. Okay, now, Arturo Gatti. Arturo was born in Italy. We're going to talk about Arturo Gatti now. Oh, I didn't. That's, I don't know who that is. I didn't put him up there. Oh, Dallio Loy. We're not to Gatti yet. Dallio Loy, another great Italian fighter. That's Dallio right there. Yeah, that's Dallio Loy. Okay, right there. Another great Italian fighter. Born in Italy. Naturalized Italian, I guess. That's what you would say. Let's talk about Dallio Loy. Okay, like most people, the name Dallio Loy doesn't ring any bells. Okay. Dallio Loy, history's forgotten great. Like most people, the name Dallio Loy doesn't ring any bells, okay? He is in the Hall of Fame, though. He was nearly unbeatable as the Italian and European lightweight champion from 1952 to 1960, and European welterweight and world lightweight champion, junior welterweight champion from 1959 to 1962. A genuinely talented boxer with an unstoppable will to win. And most fighters avoided him like the plague. Okay, Dallio Loy. They avoided him like the plague. Though most of his competition was not championship level because he wasn't fighting. Though he did fight Jorgen Johansson twice, Fortunato Manca, Eddie Perkins 3 times, and the highly talented Hall of Famer Carlos Ortiz 3 times. Okay? Lloyd, a southpaw, employed an awkward but effective defense with an aggressive bobbing and weaving style of fighting, a solid left hand, crafty ring skills, iron chin, and insane stamina, all mixed with a good package of punches. Never tasted the canvas once in 126 fights. Okay, never went down in his career. 126 fights. He didn't really have one punch knockout power, but his aggressive, smothering opponents with perhaps with punches, style, and ring craft made up for that. He's racked up the points. In his style and both offensive and defensive skills in the ring, along with his approachable and engaging personality, had endeared him to his countrymen, giving him the nickname King of Milan. He's considered one of the best Italian fighters of all time. Born on April 19, 1929 in northern Italy, he grew up during the war at age 19 and now fighting out of Milan. He turned pro in 1948 and quickly racked up an 18-fight winning streak before getting a title fight against Luigi Malay, winning the Italian lightweight title. He defended the title twice and kept on racking up wins up to 37-0 until he met Jorgen Johansson in 1952 for a shot for the European lightweight title. A tough Dane coming to the end of his career, but still had a decent record of 25 wins, 3 losses, 2 draws, who outpointed Lloyd on their first encounter. After defending his Italian lightweight title a further 2 times, he had the rematch against Johansson in 1954. This time he outpointed Johansson and was crowned European lightweight champion. He won a further 72 fights, making his record an impressive 110 wins, 1 draw, 7 losses, 22 knockouts. Defending his European lightweight and welterweight titles 13 times in 8 years. He even defended one of his titles 2 days after being in a car accident. Okay? He gave up his Italian title to concentrate on the European lightweight title, later moving up to capture the welterweight title in 1959. He fought the talented Puerto Rican Carlos Ortiz on June 15, 1960 in San Francisco. After a hard-fought fight, he lost a close and controversial decision by split decision. 3 months later, he squared off with Ortiz again, this time for the World Light Junior Welterweight title in Milan. And Lloyd won the world title with a hard-fought decision over Ortiz in front of 65,000 people in his hometown. After one more title defense, he squared off with Ortiz again. There's another trilogy for the 3rd and final time back in Italy. Okay? And this time, he knocked Ortiz down and won by unanimous decision. So he beat the great Carlos Ortiz 2-1 in their trilogy. Let me write that down because I would surely forget that. Elio Lloyd, Carlos Ortiz trilogy. Well, we might have enough trilogies to go into 2027. Wow. Okay. He beat the great Carlos Ortiz 2 out of 3 in their trilogy. Okay. In 1961, he then took on the 24-year-old, also underrated, slick, counter-punching American, Eddie Perkins, who fought him to a controversial draw. So he still retained the belt. After defending his title against the undefeated Fortunato Marca, who had a record of 56 wins and no losses, he took on Eddie Perkins for the 2nd time. This time, Perkins figured out how to beat him, and he lost his title by unanimous decision, 33 years old. Right? Then he fought Perkins again, another trilogy, right? And won his title back. And then he retired as champion. And then 14 years in the ring. Wow. There's another one. Lloyd versus Perkins. Another trilogy for us. We might go all the way up to the 2030s with Trilogy Monday. Yeah, but he retired as champion after a 14-year ring career, Dudley Lloyd. Yep. He defended his titles from the Italian Championship from 1950 to 1955, European Lightweight Championship from 1954 to 58, European Welterweight Championship from 59 to 62, losing and regaining the title, and then his Junior Welterweight Championship from 1961 to 62, losing and regaining the title, then retiring, still world champion. So he retired as champion, Dudley Lloyd. Okay. So now let's take a look at, and he never ducked anyone. And he avenged all his losses. Never got knocked down, let alone knocked out in 126 fights. Never off his feet. And defended his title a total of 25 times, losing and regaining them twice. But sad to say, he is nearly forgotten by the annals of boxing history. Highly underrated and underappreciated. Dudley Lloyd is up there with some of the best European boxers and world junior welterweight champions ever. His induction into the Hall of Fame was long overdue. Hopefully, this will bring some light onto his impressive career. Still not in the Hall, though, but deserving to be in there. Dudley Lloyd. Okay, let's look at Arturo Gatti now. Arturo Thunder Gatti. He was born in Italy, boxing in Italy today. And why is Arturo Gatti so beloved? That's the question. Because he was a crowd pleaser. Told y'all, Arturo Gatti just had a knack for making people wrong. I told y'all, him and Devin Haney was prime versus prime and fought, Arturo Gatti would have Devin Haney stand in the pocket brawling. Gatti just had that knack of making anybody brawl. I don't know how he did it. He would make Devin brawl, okay? And you know, Devin ain't brawling with nobody, but I bet you Gatti would have him in there brawling. Arturo. That's why he was so popular and beloved. That style he had. Fan-friendly. Very fan-friendly. Okay? There's Arturo. Face all busted up. Look at it. Still going in there. Way straight up into the pocket every round. Now, Arturo Gatti is beloved because his career and personality combined drama, heart, and accessibility in a way that transcended boxing records. That's why several convergent factors explain his lasting affection. Emotional fighting style, relentless pressure, and willingness to trade made his fights visceral and easy to follow for casual fans. He fought as if every round mattered, producing action rather than technical caution. Legendary warp speed comebacks and cliffhangers, notably fights versus Gabriel Ruelas, Mickey Ward, and Angel Manfredi, created narrative peaks that replayed in highlight reels and sports bars for years, still playing to this day. Historic, unforgettable fights. The three Gatti Ward fights between 2002 and 2003 are modern boxing lore. War, grit, and mutual respect. Round-by-round brutality, plus dramatic momentum swings made those nights made those fights must-watch events. And cemented Gatti's myth, right? Remember? Man got up from a liver punch. And not only got up from the liver punch, won the next round, remember? Won the next round after being liver punched. Other key fights, Ruelas, De La Hoya undercard moments, title defense, added to a highlight-heavy resume. despite not always lifting him to the very top of pound-for-pound lists. Underdog to hero arc. Immigrant roots. Born in Italy, raised in Canada, and a blue-collar persona resonated with working class and immigrant communities, okay? He projected the image of someone who fought for survival and pride rather than fame alone. His early career setbacks and comebacks fit a redemption storyline, durable, flawed, and persistent qualities audiences instinctively root for. Charisma and accessibility. We're just talking about why Arturo Gatti is so beloved. Charisma and accessibility. Off camera, Gatti was approachable and talkative. Fans describe him as friendly and candid during autograph sessions and local appearances, strengthening personal loyalty. His look and nickname, Thunder, paired with an everyman presence, made him marketable without seeming aloof. The drama of vulnerability. Gatti could be hurt and still come back. He bled, staggered, and somehow kept going. That visible vulnerability increased emotional investment. Fans watched, not just to see skill, but to witness survival. Losses felt meaningful, not humiliating. Wins felt heroic. The stakes in every fight for Gatti felt real. Yeah, that is so true. Cultural footprint and community identity. In Montreal and among Italian and Portuguese immigrant communities in North America, Gatti was a local hero whose success felt communal. That hometown devotion amplified his national and international fandom. Boxing fans who prefer action over scientific styles often cite Gatti as an example of why the sport still fascinates. Legacy, complicated but enduring. Later issues. Decline in skills, controversies after his death, and add pathos rather than erase admiration. The memory most fans keep is of the fights. Dramatic, cinematic, unforgettable. Gatti's fights are frequently included in greatest wars lists. Such repeated cultural referencing preserves affection across generations. Summary. Arturo Gatti is beloved because he delivered storytelling in the ring, tangible stakes, visible courage, and memorable clashes that created emotional attachments. His immigrant backstory, approachable persona, and a catalog of classic violent fights turned the skilled boxer into a cultural icon whose appeal extends beyond wins and losses. Arturo Thunder Gatti. Okay, so now let's get to some Italian-American fighters now. Italian-American fighters. Okay, let's look at some of them. Like the Rocky Marcianos, the Willie Peps, the Tony Canzoneris, those guys. Okay. Yeah. It is Willie Pep and Sandy Sadler. We might do that one Monday, their 4-fight series they had. The all-time top 10 Italian-American boxers. Okay. Now here are some greats who just missed the cut. These include explosive knockout artist Rocky Graciano, best remembered for his slugfest trilogy with Tony Zale, which ranked as the most savage duels ever witnessed inside a boxing ring. Harry Jeffra, a two-weight champion, beat great bantamweight Sixto Escobar of Puerto Rico in 4 out of their 5 fights. There's another one. Skillful Fidel LaBarbera and Frankie Gennaro, both Olympic gold medalists, went on to dominate flyweight division during the 20s. Joey Maxim, former world light heavyweight champion, beat Jersey Joe Walcott, Sugar Ray Robinson, Floyd Patterson, Gus Lesnovich, and Freddie Mills, and Hall of Famer Jimmy Bivens, staying in the world's top 10 for 11 years. Sammy Engat, the 2-time world lightweight champion, knew how to get the job done. He defeated 11 world champions, including Lou Jenkins, Bob Montgomery, 3 times, and was the first man to end Willie Pep's unbeaten streak. Yeah, Willie won like 67 fights out the gate, remember? This was a man in his streak. Lou Jenkins, Sammy Engat. Young Corbett III, ex-welterweight champion, is an unsung hero among the pantheon of Italian-American champions. The durable Southpaw won 123 and had 17 draws out of 151 fights and defeated champions young Jack Thompson 3 times, Jackie Fields twice, Pepperino Garcia twice, and Hall of Famers Billy Conn and Mickey Walker, the Toy Bulldog. Henry Mandel, former world lightweight title holder, was a class act. And for a time during the 20s, he was untouchable, beating the likes of Jimmy McLaurin, Jackie Fields, Tony Canzoneri, and Rocky Kansas. Fred Apostoli was the most fearsome, two-fisted pug of the mid-30s. He beat champions Solly Krieger, Lou Broyard, and Babe Risco, but is best remembered for his savage 9th round demolition of Freddie Steele, the world middleweight champion at the time. Okay, so let's look at these top 10 top 10 Italian American fighters. Okay, top 10 Italian American fighters. First is Billy Patrol. Billy Patrol, he was in the fight of the day today, remember? Billy? Billy Patrol. He fought from 1922 to 1934. Finished his career with 89 wins, 21 losses, 10 draws, 66 knockouts. And he never got a championship, but he was still a great fighter. Okay, Billy was. Okay. 66 knockouts in 89 fights. What is that? 74% knockout ratio. Talk about Billy real quick. Billy Patrol was considered too much of a risk by the lightweight champions during the mid to late 20s. The Fargo Express, as he was known, wooed crowds with his displays of powerful body punching and breathtaking toe-to-toe exchanges. His fearlessness, fighting courage, and knockout punch prompted Nat Fleischer, Ring Magazine founder, to write that fighters of his ability come but once in a lifetime. Patrol beat 8 world champions, including Tony Canzoneri and Jimmy McLaurin. Elected into boxing's Hall of Fame in 1962, he is widely recognized as one of the best boxers never to have won a world title. But how in the world he beat 8 world champions but never won a world title? But remember back around that time, they did that a lot. They would stipulate in the contract that the world championship wasn't on the line. So that's the indication of how good Billy Patrol was. They did that a lot to him. He beat 8 world champions but never won a world title. Okay, they wouldn't put the title on the line against Billy. Lou Amber. How'd you beat 8 world champions and never win a title? That's crazy. Lou Ambers. So they was afraid of Billy. He had a 9-year career, 1932 to 1941. 88 wins, 8 losses, 6 draws, 29 knockouts. 2-time lightweight champion. Lou Ambrose. Lou Ambrose. Real name was Luigi D'Ambrosio. He held the world lightweight title between 1936 and 1938, and again between 1939 and 1940. The upstate New Yorker blew in the championship prominence in 1933 and stayed there until 1940. He did it by combining toughness and determination with intelligence. Very nimble, agile, and mobile, Ambrose made it difficult for opponents to plant a solid blow. He could also slug it out with the best, adopting a whirlwind style of non-stop aggression, and his celebrated scalps included Tony Canzonieri twice, and triple champion Henry Armstrong, and champions Chrissy Zivick, Frankie Click, and Sammy Fuller. He has some big names on there. Beat Homicide Hank. Wow. These are the top 10 Italian Americans right now. We have Pete Herman is next. Pete Herman, okay, is the next of the top 10 Italian Americans. Pete Herman. He had a 20-year career from 1912 to 1922, and he had 88 fights. 98. 88. He won 69, lost 11, 8 draws, 19 knockouts in his career. And he was a 2-time bantamweight champion, Pete Herman. Okay. Please give me for a minute. Pete Herman. His real name was Pietro Gulata of New Orleans, was a bundle of fistic dynamite whose body punching and superior inside fighting and toughness enabled him to win the world bantamweight title twice. He won the title in 1917 from Kid Williams and held it for 3 years before losing it to Joe Lynch. He regained the title from Lynch in 1921 in the rematch. In the same year, Herman traveled to London and knocked out the legendary Jimmy Wild in the 17th round in a catchweight contest at the Royal Albert Hall in London. Okay? Failing eyesight forced him into early retirement in the following year, and he was never floored in 149 fights. Never tasted the canvas. 149 fights. Pete Herman. Tough man. You know how many rounds that is? 149 fights. Never down. Next is Joey Giardello. Some of the top Italian American fighters of all time, boxing in Italy today. Joey Giardello. Okay. Joey had a 19-year career from 1948 to 1967. Longevity. Okay. He had 132 fights. He won 100, lost 25, had seven draws, and 32 knockouts. And he was a middleweight champion. He was one of the great 1950s middleweights I'm always harping about. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Joey Giardello. Yes. Joey Giardello. His real name was Carmine Tallelli. He fought anyone, anywhere, and at any time. He was a clever and adaptable ring mechanic with all the moves and a cast-on chin that never let him down. Some said Giardello was a mob-controlled fighter, but the facts tell a different story. Giardello met every African-American contender of note and was a leading contender throughout the 50s, but didn't get a title shot until 1960, 12 years after turning pro. If he was mob controlled, he would have had a title shot within 12 years, and he didn't draw the color bar, neither. A foul-thrown title challenge against Gene Former ended in a controversial draw. 3 years later, he outpointed Hall of Famer Dick Tiger to win the world middleweight title, Joey Giardello. And then next is the great Carmen Basilio. Here's Carmen. Thomas Hill in the building. What's up, Thomas Hill? How are you today? Carmen Basilio. Boxing in Italy today. Yeah, Carmen Basilio is next. We're looking at some Italian-American fighters now. Carmen Basilio. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's knock this out. Okay. Carmen had a 13-year career, 48-61. 56-16, 7 draws, 27 knockouts. Carmen Basilio was a he was two-time welterweight champion. No, and two-time welterweight champion, middleweight champion. Carmen Basilio was a two-weight world champion. He won the welterweight title in 1955-56, and again in 1956-57, and secured the world middleweight title in 1957-58. Nobody gave more to boxing than Basilio. Blessed with heart and determination, the hard-as-nails fighter was never involved in a dull fight. He competed in 11 world title fights, of which 5 were voted Ring Magazine Fight of the Year. Sugar Ray Robinson admitted that Basilio gave him his toughest fight of all in his glittering 202-fight career. The Hall of Fame boxer beat world champions Ike Williams, Tony DeMarco twice, Johnny Saxton twice, and Don Jordan and Sugar Ray Robinson. Johnny Dundee. Okay, Johnny Dundee. Let's see. Johnny Dundee. Wait for one moment, please. Johnny Dundee. Yeah, we're finishing up now. Okay. Italian-American fighters. Okay. We got 5 more. Johnny Dundee. He had a 22-year career, 1910 to 1932. Johnny did, okay? And he was 113 wins, 31 losses, 19 draws, 19 knockouts. Featherweight junior lightweight champion, 2-time junior lightweight champion, okay? Johnny Dundee, real name was Giuseppe Carrera. Johnny Dundee. Giuseppe Carrera. He was one of boxing's most enduring figures. The Sicilian-born New Yorker was a fine ring craftsman who possessed agility, plenty of fighting heart, and fast reflexes that were the cornerstone of his remarkable longevity. He engaged in a phenomenal 340 recorded fights. He met the best featherweights and lightweights, including the legendary Benny Leonard 8 times in no decision encounters, with little to choose between them. When already past his prime, he won the world featherweight title, as well as twice capturing the junior lightweight title. He met them all, including 13 world champions. Okay. Then after Johnny is Jake. Jake LaMotta. This is Jake LaMotta. Okay. Jake, of course, 13 years, 1941, 1954. 83 wins, 19 losses, 4 draws, 30 knockouts. And with Jake's style, I was surprised he didn't have more stoppages than he had. Only 30 out of 106 fights. Right? That's crazy. The style he had. And the chin, nobody was knocking him out. But he was a middleweight champion, Jake was, okay? Jake LaMotta, a.k.a. the Bronx Bull. Jake was a masterful inside fighter with a granite chin. Between 1942 and 1948, he regularly topped the world rankings and beat the most famous, fearsome African-American contenders, earning him the sobriquet of uncrowned middleweight champion. Yeah, Jake didn't draw the color line neither. But boxing, politics, and mob influence delivered his title shot. He handed Sugar Ray Robinson his first professional loss. LaMotta won the title in 1949, defending it 3 times. His title fight with Laurent Darthil was voted 1950 Ring Magazine Fight of the Year, with LaMotta trailing on all the judges' scorecards, spectacularly halted the Frenchman with just 13 seconds left in the fight. Okay. What's up, T Hill? And then Tony Canzoneri, Willie Pep, and Rocky Marciano. Those were the last 3. What's up, T Hill?
You got the best hand, Cass. Talk to me. Tell me what it is.
Yeah, we was just talking about boxing in Italy today, and we looked at some naturalized Italians, that was born and raised there, and these were just some Italian Americans. There's Tony Canzoneri, Willie Pep, the last 3. And of course, Rocky was number 1. Now that's Willie Pep right there. Yeah, Rocky was number 1. Talking about Italian Americans, Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's some, especially the last 2 that you said, them boys was bad.
Yeah, Willie Pep and Rocky. Yeah, they had to be the type when you talk about Italian American fighters, They but yeah, Jake only had. I'm surprised Jake didn't have more knockouts, with his style and the chin he had. He only had 30 knockouts in like 106 fights.
Yeah.
That always baffled me. Cause wasn't nobody gonna knock him out with that chin he had,
Not at all.
He had a Canelo. Well, Canelo had a Jake chin. Jake came first, right?
Yeah, definitely. That boy had a granite chin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What you got for this weekend? They haven't got Arnie boxing. I didn't even know he was. I haven't got your pick on the Virgil Lubin situation yet. You made a decision yet? Man, this ink gonna stop right. Middle of it, right. You made a decision on that one, Tia? Virgil and
What's that?
Virgil and Lubin. I didn't get a pick from you on that one.
Who was that? Virgil and who?
Lubin.
Oh no, I told you, Lubin. I got Lubin on that
okay.
one.
You must have slipped my mind. Oh, a lot of people got Lubin. Yeah. That's interesting. I was saying Virgil because I think he's gonna go to the cards, and it's hard.
Yeah, well, if it goes to the cards, and Lubin hasn't made a clear distinction, I think that Lubin. Yeah. See, to me, Lubin. I think he knows that this fight is for his to win.
Mm-hmm.
or I should say, for his to lose. Like he would have to really lose in order for him to lose. But it's for him to win. Like they want him to win. So he knows that if I'm going there, I'm fighting on their card.
Yeah.
I gotta put together a performance that's going to separate myself from him, so that they'll know that hey, it ain't nothing they can do to take this fight from me because I fully dominated. I think that he understands also that he's not going to get very many more opportunities.
No.
And this right here can catapult him in his career because, he at one point in time was one of the people that they were trying to push. Well, if he get this piece of hardware with him, then he becomes somebody they can push.
Yeah.
Or at the very least.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah. Or at the very least, somebody that they can leverage against somebody else who they really want to push. And he gets a bigger fight, a bigger pay. So, yeah, I think that, he has a skill set.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing he does that's worrisome to me is he backs out on a straight line and he doesn't get his head off that axis. He's going to have to watch that because,
Virgil done saw that,
Yeah.
They done saw that. He got Robert Garcia, right? Ain't that his trainer? Robert Garcia. He got a good trainer. So, yeah. Who is Lubin's trainer? I don't even know.
Good question, man. Let me see.
It's not, what was the guy that was training? I don't think he trained David Morrell anymore. I think David Morrell got rid of him.
Yeah, that's Ronnie Shields. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's Shields or not. I'm going to look and see.
Yeah. But, he going to have to back out. He can't go straight out like that because Virgil going to definitely catch him. Robert Garcia definitely told him to watch out for that. And he going to get caught first time he does that. If he does that, He got to either step to the side or be doing something as he backing out, Keep Virgil occupied or something.
I'm trying to find who his trainer is right now. So if I'm quiet, that's where it is. But I agree with you.
Like you say, he can't be backing straight out.
He can't back straight out. What he's going to have to do is continuously turn. Yeah, he's going to have to turn Virgil. Virgil's good at placing his punches.
Yeah, so, that's right. Mm-hmm.
And Virgil likes to work behind that jab. So he's got to continuously turn him. And he's got to continue to work off of that jab that he's going and get his punches off. So if he's able to do that and he's able to keep his head off that line, I think he's going to have a good time all night. But if he can't, it's probably.
I think it's going to be a good fight. Because Lubin knows his way around that ring. Virgil ain't just going to go in there and have his way with him. I know that. I'm just thinking it's going to go the distance and Lubin, it might be a robbery, man.
So it's Kevin Cunningham. Kevin Cunningham.
Okay.
And Greg Centineo. Greg Centineo. Greg Centineo.
I've never heard of Greg.
Yeah.
Cunningham. Okay. Yeah.
So Kevin Cunningham, I have him ready for it.
Oh yeah, he got a decent, solid trainer.
And like I say, the opportunity it's more so about taking advantage of that opportunity. And he was given a breath of he was given a breath of fresh air when he was given the decision against Ramos. So now he has to capitalize on that and he has to move.
But like you were saying, this might be it for him,
Yeah, this could definitely be it. He might not get if he doesn't win this, then he might be somebody that they look to build future stars against.
Right. That's right. That's what he might become if you're willing to do that. That's the only way he's gonna make some purses.
Exactly. And what that means, you get certain looks. So now you won't get the high profile fights because we don't need you getting your skills honed and tightened. We need you just to be ready for the fight. So, you know, he has to go and handle his business, man, and make the most of this opportunity. Upset it. And he's going to have to do it in fashion, too. Like, he's going to have to make a clear distinction between them. And I'm talking about, you know how we all feel like Maxie Hughes beat Kambosos?
Yeah.
In that fight, he never had moments in there where it was clear, like, oh man, he's taking it down. He just was beating. Yeah, he was just exactly. He left them opportunity to say, well, he didn't clearly beat him. Like you gotta have moments where you like, oh my God, he is tearing him up. Yeah, just overwhelming him. Yeah. Not just doing more effective work.
Well, you can say he definitely won that round. Ain't no question about it.
Exactly. They have to be that. Mm-hmm. And when I say that, I mean, like, there needs to be an effect from the work he's doing where you could clearly visibly see, oh, this is causing him problems.
Yeah. And he keeps doing that too.
Yeah, he is. And likewise, I'll say this, that Virgil is definitely capable of going there and doing what he needs to do to get the job done. Because I'm one of few people who believe he won the fight with Madrimov.
Yeah, I thought he did too. Won that one. I was more questionable about Boychuk, the one before that.
I'm one of the people who thought he thoroughly won the fight. Well, not thoroughly. I thought it was close. But I thought that he did.
I thought Madrimov was more clearer though, you know. Yeah, but Lubin definitely can't have that type of performance. He just ain't getting it.
Yeah, he ain't gonna get it.
A fight like either one of those, he can forget it.
And I think he knows it too.
Yeah.
I think he knows it. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, he's gonna have to be on his very best game to do what he needs to do to get that decision. Yeah. So the best course always is to take it out of the hands of the judges.
That's right.
So we'll see.
And decide the distance. And they can't. The judges don't have no say at all in it. You know.
Absolutely.
And you know.
So you know, it is what it is. I mean. You get these opportunities, you got to take advantage of them, because you know that the game is rigged. The game is rigged always, because people are investing their money, and that's what a lot of folks don't realize. They're putting their money up, and they're getting money from other folks, from people that they got working relationships with. They they got to see a return for their money. Yeah.
A lot of people forget it's the business. You got to always remember that.
Yeah.
Sport, but it's a business side to it too.
And the boxers have to remember that. And see, that's why it's so appealing what they're offering over on that other side.
That's right. That's a true statement there to you. Yeah.
So Cass, man.
And they know that they shooting for that Virgil versus Boots, and they know that's way more money.
Yeah, it's lucrative.
It's worth way more than a Lubin.
It's lucrative, Cass. It's lucrative. They can make a lot of money. He knows this. He absolutely. If he doesn't go in there not knowing that something's wrong, so he got to be ready for the fact that they're going to try to take this fight from him.
Yeah. Oh, this is in Texas. I was thinking that was a reality.
That's hometown. That's hometown.
Oh man, he really in trouble.
Yeah, chips are stacked.
He pretty much got to stop him.
He got to stop him, or he got to soundly beat him.
Yeah, soundly
beat him. It's like you got to have moments where he's wobbled. You got to have moments where you know what, you just showing he can't even touch you. Yeah, it's got to look bad.
Texas, golly.
Yeah, it's in his hometown. It's in the backyard. So yeah, and you know that other fight is on there too.
Which one is that? What's up, Albert? What's the other one, T? I forgot.
Oh wait, I'm getting
Yeah.
I'm getting mixed up. I was thinking that the Pitbull fight was on there too. I thought they moved the Pitbull fight to that card.
You know, Oscar already took the judges to dinner and everything.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, I'm joking, but I'm serious too.
Yeah, man. Nah, it'd be like that.
Yeah.
It'd be like that.
Every day. Y'all ready for Saturday?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And shout out to the Professor Al Bug up in the house, man. My good brother out that way.
Man, I thought this was in Riyadh. This is in
Nah, this is Texas. This is
Yeah, I'm really going with Virgil now. Ruben need
well,
to stop.
the smart money is definitely with Virgil.
Yeah.
No doubt about it, man. Like given how we've seen boxing play out, we know smart money is there. And like I said, that one time when Jay had Brother Umar up there and they was asking him about a tough fight, he said, man, you always follow the money.
That's right.
You always follow the money.
Yeah.
Like wherever the money is behind.
So he would know, you know, he got fighters and stuff, Brother Umar. So
but it makes sense and it helps me to understand certain things. Like, okay,
that's right.
I'm gonna go back and take it to 2 fights. Mm-hmm. One for sure. The other one in particular. The second fight between Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Oh.
We can't alleviate that title off of him, so we got to call it a draw.
I know.
The first one, where Tommy was literally winning every round except the last couple of rounds.
He had it won. Sugar Ray needed a knockout, you know?
Yeah, you know, you stop the fight. You don't even let him get the knockout. You stop the fight.
Yeah, because he was no way going to win it. I think he was like...
he couldn't win that fight. The only way he could win it is by stoppage.
Like 3 behind on 2 cards. There was only like 2 rounds left, you know? He was so far behind he couldn't win it on points.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
man, shoot, he literally lost every round except for like the last couple of rounds that he was in. So he won 13 and he was winning 14. You know, every other round he lost.
The judges had him way ahead too. They had Hearns way ahead, man.
Way ahead.
Scoring it right. It was scoring the fight right, correctly. And
they got the call. They got the call. Stop it. Stop it now. Stop it now.
The judges messed up and scored it correctly. So the referee, you gotta save us.
Now Tommy being fatigued and looking bad out there helped it make it easier for them to make the stoppage.
Like you said earlier, you gave them the opportunity.
Yeah. And that's where the money is behind. So we stopped the fight.
Yeah.
Recent day, we got Rolly looking bad in the ring. And I'll say Rolly was winning the rounds, the later rounds. Yeah. He started to get a hold of it, but them earlier rounds, he was struggling, man. He was looking bad. Mm-hmm. Got put down.
It was too close. Yeah.
Yeah, it was looking like maybe he might not overcome him. So let's stop it. So the very first sign of it looking like it was supposed to.
Yeah.
And they ended it. And, you know, unfortunately.
They gave Tony Weeks the signal, you know.
They gave him the signal. And then that was the last we heard of.
Rolly didn't even hit that man. I think Barroso hit him before the stop.
But I will say this. I'm not justifying it, but Barroso started to lose a little bit of that luster that he had in the beginning of the fight. And Rolly started picking up things.
He did. He gave an opportunity the excuse that they was looking for, you know?
Yeah, it made it look like, okay, we can stop it here.
Yeah, we can do it and get away with it, right? Exactly.
And that's why, you know, I worry that, you know, he has to be on his A game, because if it looks close enough and they got something that they can hang to, they will hang to it.
They're going to do it. And you notice they never put Rolly back in there with Barroso neither, did they?
No, and Barroso never got a shot again.
Never.
And that speaks to this upcoming fight with Devin Haney and what's her name? Like Devin Haney and them been quiet because, you know, they know that this thing is do or die because the money they're accustomed to getting per fight can go down the drain with a bad performance.
Yeah.
It becomes then now we can get you fights, but you're gonna fight for what we're willing to pay you,
Right.
not for what you want to be paid.
Used to getting. That's right. Yeah.
And people don't understand that, man. So
Yeah. Exactly what you're saying. Yeah. This is a big one.
Yes,
The business
yes, sir.
side is big, especially nowadays. The business side is big as it's ever. We're more noticeable than it's ever been now.
Because the money is much more lucrative.
That's right. Yep.
And more people are betting in on it, and so it's more money to be made. But yeah, man. But hey, great show. I know it's time for you to go on and go settle down and spend time with the fam, man. So great show.
Get up out of here, man. Appreciate you, Tia.
No, I appreciate you. Appreciate you touring the great country of Italy and its Italian American fighters that we've had to bless the ring and give their talent to the sport. Shout out to all that came in and supported you, man. The wife, she's always by your side, man. Mrs. Cass, Bruce Grass, Boxing, Jazz, and more. That great brother over there, Mike Ram, BVO Sports TV. Shout out to him and the Sports Talk Network. Shout out to Mike Mazik, the champ. Shout out to Define Irony One and Al Booger, my guy. If you are watching and you don't comment, stop by and make a comment, man. Enjoy the conversation. We engage. Always leave a comment. Subscribe to my man, Cass Sports. He comes here and he gives you the history of the sport of boxing, and that's why he's called the Boxtorian. Can't find this nowhere else but here. 2:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. It's the good brother Cass. You're more than welcome to join. More than welcome to leave comments. You're more than welcome to participate in the chat. There's this thing called the Cash App. You're more than welcome to bang that too. Show your love and your support, man. And you guys have a great day, man. Let's mosey on over to Just Du's Boxing, where he gives boxing his just due. And you guys have a wonderful day, man. Shout out to the good brother Cass Sports.